Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and first things first, Happy New Year. I know it's been quite some time since I've done any kind of video, and I hope to maybe take a day to kind of discuss those matters. Although I will say I do have a cat now, and I warned that because my cat could come in any moment because she's very clever. But having said that, I am back. I am doing my first ever video of 2026 for a very good reason, and that's because we are getting a new Game of Thrones show called the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Been hearing a lot about it, although it's been quite some time since we had anything Game of Thrones related. I know I've done my reaction video for House of Dragon, and yet we're still waiting on season 3, although we're actually getting that this year. But before that, we're having this new series called The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's based on the story of Duncan and Egg, Duncan being the knight and Egg being the squire, although we know that he's Aegon Targaryen. I believe in terms of the timeline, it's like about 90 years before Game of Thrones. So it's gonna be a very interesting show. I'm very excited to be talking about this, trying to see what's gonna be all about. Of course, because of the fact that it is between House of Dragon and the Game of Thrones timeline, there is going to be no dragon. Dragons by this point have been extinct. So it's going to be a very different show because I know we've always been seeing dragons in some capacity. And this is going to be like the one show where we won't really see dragons because that's just how it was narratively in regards to the Game of Thrones universe. I believe this is also going to be a little bit more lighthearted. It's not going to be as brutal or bloody as Game of Thrones or House of Dragon, where there's always some kind of battle or war, whether it be battles in between within the house or across the houses. This one's going to be a little bit more lighthearted from what I get the sense of, but I'm very curious. Again, I don't know too much about the Duncan Egg story. I know it is based on the George R. Martin book, but I have not actually read those books, so this is going to be a very interesting experience for me just to kind of get the sense of what it's going to be. But because of the fact that it is so totally different, it also is going to be feeling a little bit more fresh in terms of just exploring the world of Westeros in a way that we've kind of been seeing with Star Wars, although hopefully this one will actually work out well. But yeah, I am very intrigued about this. Of course, even though we're starting with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, it's going to probably be the first year we're going to have, again, 2 Game of Thrones series coming within a year. Because later this year we're going to have House of Dragon Season 3, and I'm excited to see that. And, of course, I'll be doing reaction videos for those as well. But I figured, why not do a reaction, do these weekly reactions for Night of the Seven Kingdoms just to kind of keep the tradition going. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. I know there's probably going to be more Game of Thrones stuff coming out because there's been a lot of whispers. I mean, I heard about the Alien Conquest one. There was at one point the Jon Snow and Arya. The Jon Snow one, and then that got scrapped, and then now it sounds like that there's going to be a development of an Arya, Jon Snow kind of series. Again, I don't know if you've heard, there was a whole interview with George R. R. Martin about this, but yeah, I'm very just intrigued to see what we're going to get out of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm excited to see it. I hope it's going to turn out great. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the first episode of the Night of the Seven.
All the right words.
I'm assuming that's his father.
Ought to be accepting here. I told you.
What you?
Eat like a king if I sold you 3. For a year or 2.
Yeah. King's Landing, hey. Hey. Oh, I hear the Game of Thrones theme song! Oh! No, freaking way they did that. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to censor that. We are so censoring that. I love how they played us. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Looks like we're not getting the Game of Thrones opening credits, huh?
Stay the fuck away from me.
Is that supposed to be a Lannister? Oh, Targaryen.
Oi!
My lord,
You thief!
I did not.
Oh.
You don't look to be a knight. She's dead.
Is the innkeeper not you? Need for a squire, lad.
Every knight needs a squire. You look like you need one more than most.
Especially because he
And you
is
look
a
like you
Targaryen
need a
who
good
knows
clout
it.
wish. I know you'll scoop it up as soon as I'm gone.
I don't think so. Aw, this is so soothing, I'm not gonna lie. It's like a very... the tourney.
As you are.
When he was dying, he called for his long
Too
sword,
bad, so no.
bade me kneel.
Lower you down, asshole first, onto a sharpened point, and fuck you dry. Go on. I'm bullshitting you. Yet, this is a reach, not the Riverlands. Think we're fending off some
Reach,
scourge
that's
of
what it was
cottages
called.
scuttling about, entering turn.
That's the Tallies. That's what I figured. It was the Tallies. Oh, Sir Darkin the Tall for a reason.
I don't have a stag.
What kind of knight don't got a stag?
It's a hedge knight, ain't it?
What?
It's like a knight.
Hedge
but
Knight.
sadder.
That's what it was called.
No,
That's just like quite the conversation.
Corridors of chance. A boy from nothing risks it all, ignoring what's
Ah, stories about the
He's only
dragons.
stupid.
Ah! Ah, Baratheon! I think this is Baratheon. I see a stag.
Lionel Baratheon. The Laughing
Ah.
Storm, they call him.
Oh, he
Who
does
was
give
it?
me Baratheon vibes. Oh, that's a big ass
no, but I believe it.
That why you slouch? You don't get punch.
I don't. So supper.
Cool. He was played, man. Oh! He is so rapid.
I don't know. Really quite.
Ooh! It's egg. A Targaryen.
I washed them. I made the fire, caught the fish, hand-groomed the horses. I
Oh,
would
wow,
have
he's a
raised
very
your
handy
pavilion, but
Targaryen.
I couldn't find one.
Sir Duncan the Tall.
Never heard of him.
Ah.
Some kingdoms then.
The good ones.
You got a
I
name,
love
thief?
it.
Egg.
Egg. Beat you bloody. Send you on your way.
I would advise against that.
But you look as though you don't eat more of it.
Yes, my lord.
Sir. I'm only a hedge knight.
Staring up at the silk instead of sky.
Do you want a clout in the ear?
So that was the first episode of The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I have to say, I think so far, I wouldn't say I'm totally hooked yet, but I will say I'm very intrigued. And overall, right now, what I really liked about the show so far is that it is very refreshing. It's not going right into like an immediate conflict, or you're getting the sense that there is going to be some kind of war in a sense, because I mean, as I said before, like I think with Game of Thrones and with House of Dragon, we already kind of sensed that there was going to be some urgent matter that's going to happen that's going to really impact the entirety of the kingdom, whereas here it's like you can get the sense that this is a very refreshing story. It's not such a global thing, whereas, you know, Game of Thrones, House of Dragon was. This is just a really, you know, a really charming story that you're seeing between a knight, or just a knight who's trying to become a knight, and then there's a secret Targaryen who is just trying to get back home to King's Landing from the sounds of it. But I will say this, I think what I really like so far about the show is that it is totally different. It is like the tone is very, very different. It's not so grim. It's not so gloomy. Like you can get the sense of the fact that there is a little bit of charm and humor to this series. A lot of that's just because it is so local to what's happening in terms of like, I mean, that's not to say it's so local because we still have like the big houses. We saw the Baratheons. We've seen the Targaryens. So we're still seeing those, but it's still very local, right? I think that's what makes this such a very different kind of show that I'm so far going to stick by for the time being. But I will say this. I love how right in the beginning, like right in the beginning, we're just kind of like, okay, what's going on? We're seeing this character. He's burying somebody, what seems to be his knight. And just as we're hearing, because I was actually very curious. I was like, okay, are we going to, like, what's going to be the theme song? We're going to continue the whole Game of Thrones theme song that we've been hearing before. I mean, that's what they do with House of Dragon. We're going to see this here. And then just as we're hearing kind of the beats of the Game of Thrones theme, the next thing you know, like, it got me, like the way that it just shook me, I was like, oh, okay, so that's how we're gonna go, right? That they're just like, oh yeah, we're not going into that territory. We're gonna go into a whole different direction. I think just from that opening moments, that I was like, okay, this is already giving us a hint that this is not gonna be like Game of Thrones. This is not gonna be like House of Dragon. And I will say, like, I think just going into the series, I was going into it very cautiously, just because, again, I think just before the series, like, I didn't know too much about what the story is going to be, other than the fact that we had two big characters, Duncan and Egg, a little bit of the small details, but I didn't know how the aesthetic of the series is going to be. Like, how is it that this show can somehow be its own identity within the Westeros, universe, right? And while it sounds as though that we're still going to get some kind of action because there's going to be a tourney happening, it's not going to be as high scaled as what we get with Game of Thrones or House of Dragon. So how is it that I'm going to be able to maintain my interest in the show? And I will say that the moment that Duncan meets up with Egg in the, what was it, the pub or whatever, like, you can really get you can already feel the sense of charm within their relationship. Like, you can see how, like, you get the sense of how the relation's gonna be, or like, okay, I can totally dig this relationship we have, because I was like, okay, this is gonna be very interesting. And I think that, of course, like, this wouldn't work out if it wasn't for the fact that they really had to cast the right people for it. I don't know who the actor is who plays Duncan, but I do recognize the kid who plays Egg, because he actually played young President Snow in Hunger Games: Battle of Songbirds and Snake. He was the kid in the opening. It was like the prologue during the Dark Days. So that's that kid. And I think right away I get the sense of, okay, these two characters are going to get along. Like, we're really invested in these two characters, and that's the key thing, right? Because this show alone is based on the fact that it's a relationship. It's showing the dynamic between Duncan and Egg, and the only way this show will work is if the chemistry is there. And right away you get the sense of just how charming that chemistry is. And I think from that point on, I was kind of like, okay, I'm like, even though I'm still optimistic, I'm still cautious, I think we're in a really good direction where the show's gonna go, and I think the future looks bright. And I think that's just the main thing that I was really hoping that I can get a sense of by the end of this episode. And I think I already got that kind of, like, I already got those kinds of, those feelings right within the first 10 minutes. And of course, beyond that, I was like, okay, I'm already invested. Let's see what else is gonna happen. And of course, we get a lot of references, right? I mean, when they said the Reach, because I saw the castle, I was like, that looks like the castle that Blackfish may have battled when they were going up. I was like, I think the twins or Lannisters or something back in Game of Thrones. It looked like it. I was like, is this the Tully place? And I'm like, and then when they said the Reach, I was like, I think that's the Tullys. And I think that's still the Tullys. And of course, when you see the stag, that's a Baratheon. And of course, we have Targaryen. So we already got to like 3 big houses already. But again, this is so localized. It is not as dark. It is not as brooding. There's a little bit of levity to it. I think that's the key thing that I get the sense of, is that there is a lot of levity. There's a lot of humor. You can get the sense of the charisma and charm of the series. And I think just watching it so far, I can understand why George R. R. Martin was like very pleased with the show, because right before the series was coming out, like, he kept saying, oh, I really like the show, blah blah blah. He's been complimenting it a lot. I don't know if it was during the blog or the interview, but he has been giving his full support to the show so far. And I think I can see why, right? I mean, watching the first episode, I'm like, okay, it's not like Game of Thrones, it's not like House of Dragon, but I'm still very interested. Like, I already am, I'm already like immersed into this world, but in a whole different way. And I'm very curious to see how this relationship's going to unleash. And of course, just meaning, Egg, right? I mean, we already have seen so many Targaryens. I mean, we've seen Daenerys, we have the whole entirety Targaryen family in House of the Dragon. How is this Egg, what was it? His name is Aegon Targaryen. I think he's the 5th one. How is this Aegon Targaryen different from any other Targaryen that we've met? And I mean, right away, you can see how clever, how smart he is. He's not so stuck up like, Daemon, or Viserys. You can get the sense that he's just a kid who wants to go home. I think that's just the best way to describe it, is that he's a kid who just wants to get back home. He keeps talking about King's Landing. And it seems as though he wants to be a squire. I mean, I like, so far, I'm very interested with these characters. I'm very interested with the aesthetic of the show so far. I'm interested what's going to happen. And I think we might have another win for the Game of Thrones universe as long as things carry on well. Of course, this was a very short episode. I think I've actually seen the episode runtime for the rest of the series, and it's very short. I think this was the longest episode we had. It was like 42 minutes. The rest of the series, I think most of the episodes are like within the 30 to 40 minute mark. So, and I think that might actually be a smart move, because you can get the sense of how this is going to be a very slow series, because there isn't so much of the dragons or the White Walkers. We don't have those big scale things, that it might actually work to keep it as a short episode, so that way you're not feeling as bored. Like, you're only focusing on key aspects. I think so far, in terms of the show, when it comes to technical aspects, it has the right tone, it has the right pacing, and it has some really great characters that we've so far met. So yeah, I mean, I will be continuing on with this show moving forward. I thought I had remembered that the title was going to be a lot longer. I think it was called The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. It was a very lengthy name, and I think the fact that they shortened it to just The Night of the Seven Kingdoms may have been the right choice. I think it would have been really wordy just to say Night of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. I mean, that's just a lot. So yeah, I think so far this is a very promising show. Not totally hooked yet, but I think I will like this show by the end of the season. I think that's my hopes, at least. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Hedge Knight. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, sorry. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 1. So far is very interesting, but I want to know your thoughts now, having seen the first episode. What do you think so far? It's very different from House of Dragon and Game of Thrones, but do you think you'll be hooked onto it? Do you think this is a very refreshing way to kind of explore the universe? Or maybe you still wanted to see a little bit more of that action that is very ingrained with House of Dragon and Game of Thrones? Or do you really like this dynamic that we have so far? What do you think for those who have read the book? Like, is this worth a worthy addition as part of the Game of Thrones universe to kind of adapt to the screen? What are your thoughts with what we've gone so far, the characters, the chemistry, and so on and so forth? Let me know your thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe.